Hi, Patrice. Thank you so much for taking out the time to share your experience of what it's been like working with us here at the Abundant Accountant and being in our 8-week sales mastery course. I'd love it if you could share though, before we dive in, where you're at in the country and how long you've had your firm and what do you offer in your firm, like bookkeeping, tax, accounting, what services do you provide to clients?
Sure. I live in Texas and I've had my business since 2001, so I've been in it a
Mhm.
while. I do primarily bookkeeping. That's what I've been
Yeah,
doing. And now I'm branching out into the CFO advisory service. And that's what brought
awesome.
me to you and um, sparking my business.
Yes, yes, definitely. Expanding, growing, charging more. But
Mhm.
what brought you to me, it maybe you can talk a little bit about that. Like what were things like in your firm before just focusing solely on the bookkeeping? And what were you most nervous about with getting into CFO advisory?
For my bookkeeping business, I started doing a lot of networking back in 2010 or whatever, and that really helped it. And then from there, it was primarily built on word of mouth referrals. And then probably like in the last 3 years or so, it just quieted down, everything quieted
Yeah,
down. And then when I thought I want to expand my service, I think the most terrifying thing about it was the imposter syndrome, feeling like, oh my God, do I really know what I'm doing? And are people going
yeah,
to trust me? I've just been a bookkeeper all this time, and now I'm going to
right.
be a CFO advisor. So, I mean, that's in a different realm, but yeah,
Yeah,
that was the scary part about
yeah.
starting
And
something.
And when you were going through and having those thoughts, what was the moment you decided that you needed to do something about that and reach out to us for help to really hone in on the sales side, understand your value and get past that imposter syndrome? Like what was that moment if you can remember where you're like when you scheduled your call with us?
I had seen you on a webinar that was connected with the CFO group that I was with, and then I really liked what you had to say then, but I was like, well, I'll get back to it. And then I kept
Uh-huh.
getting these emails from you, and I go, yep, that's a pain point. Yep,
Uh-huh.
she's saying everything I'm going through. So the next webinar you had, I jumped on it and I just
Uh-huh.
locked in and I go, yeah, I'm totally at sea with this.
Yeah.
Getting and I knew that this was the piece that I needed to get in control first, and
Yeah.
then I could go into the other branch. But I knew that I needed a sales
Mhm.
process, and I needed something that I knew would help me get have confidence both in the charging of the rates, and then also
Yeah.
just a system that I didn't
Yeah.
have. So.
Yeah, and I think Patrice, and I thank you for sharing that. I think there's a lot of firm owners that are in your same boat where you've been doing bookkeeping a while and you want to offer CFO advisory and do a more complex service, but to go from charging maybe 500 to 1,000 a month to then charging 2,500 to 5,000, it takes a different skill set and it takes a sales process to do that, right? And
Mhm.
when you were going through and talking to us and doing your due diligence on me, was there ever a thought or a time where you're like, I don't think this is going to work for me? Or did you
No,
have any concerns of evaluating like our coaching program to other programs that you had done in the past?
no, and I can't say I've ever done anything like yours, but I remember every time I would open up a new lesson, I was like, "Oh, good, this is exactly what I wanted to learn about." So I was very excited for every lesson. Granted, I'm a little exhausted by it, but
Yeah.
I was very excited because I go, "This is it. This is exactly what I was looking for." And even the lesson that I'm on right now, I'm so happy that I'm doing it because I'm like, "Oh, this is so awesome. We're tying it all together." And
Yes. Yes.
yes.
Just keep doing them. You've got a couple more important ones ahead. But before we dive into you enrolled in our course, going back to the phone call that you had with us and getting past that imposter syndrome and having that fear of going from just having bookkeeping firm to also adding CFO advisory, what were some of the things that you had tried, right? You had watched a webinar and then didn't do anything and then watched another one. Were there anything that you've tried in between to sell CFO advisory services, but it just didn't work out for you, where you're like, okay, I need to enroll in a program like this, even though I've never done one before? When, like, take us through your decision making process to saying, I need a coach.
Well, it wasn't that long ago that I got on this journey to, so
Yeah,
no, I didn't try anything else. I just knew I didn't have the sea legs for it yet.
yeah,
I thought I had the brain for it. I thought I probably had the knowledge for it, but it wasn't until I actually got started. And then, you just got to take a deep breath and jump. And I think that's what I did with my first client, who's my current client, and I'm helping him. But I didn't know what I knew that I
didn't
could
know.
do. And so, I don't know the long answer to your question, but I didn't try
No, it's
anything
fine.
before I
Yeah,
did the.
you didn't try anything, you just said you knew. So, what would you share then, Patrice, with another firm owner who owns a bookkeeping firm? They want to offer CFO advisory. They've got the brains for it, they have the knowledge, but they don't have the confidence, and they're kind of dealing with that imposter syndrome like you. What would you share with that firm owner that also wants to up level and offer CFO advisory? Like, what would you share now going through this process with us, and being on our webinars before? Like, what would you share with them if someone else is dealing with the same imposter syndrome that you had?
I would say there's nothing that gets you through it other than to just take a step and then another step and then another step and then
Mm-hmm.
just do it. And I don't think it's faking it till you make it, because you got to know
Yeah,
where you're gonna trip. And that's why I love your program, because you guys are like the team that stands behind you and goes, keep going. And we give you these tools and these tools. And the tools, like I said, I was so looking forward to learning each one, because they're exactly what you need. And I think
yeah,
with that in your tool belt, you can
yeah,
go to the client and you got everything, you're going to have everything that you need. Then
yeah,
you just take the step. And it's
yeah.
scary, but you just do it.
It is scary. So take us through that. So you had a call with us. You did your due diligence on me and the abundant accountant, and you enrolled in our 8 week sales mastery course. Did you have any initial skepticism before you decided to enroll and commit the time and commit the money and everything else? And like, maybe you can share what led you to decide to jump in and take your firm to this next level.
I I don't remember feeling any skepticism toward your process. I just, because everything that I was getting from your emails was
Mm-hmm.
so spot on, and I thought she
Mm.
knows. And I had seen your other testimonials and 'cause there were a
Yeah,
couple people in your webinar that had gone through your program, and they gave their own sort of not, I don't know, testimonials, but
yeah,
you could tell that they were doing well,
yeah,
and yet they were still working on it. So that led me
yeah,
to believe that it's okay wherever you are in the process,
yeah,
you just get on. And then the final answer is that I didn't have a choice. There was nothing else that was working, and I had to do something. And this was the perfect uh, mechanism at the time. And
yeah,
I honestly, I don't know where I would be. I would be back at where I was. So if you
yeah.
hadn't shown up on my email or webinar,
Oh.
and so
Oh, well, I'm grateful and I'm so happy our paths have crossed, so you can learn this, just have this, confidence and momentum that you have underneath you. What have been some of the lessons learned and your aha moments and celebrations that you have experienced working with us here at the Abundant Accountant and being inside our 8 week sales mastery course?
ooh, there's a lot of those. I would say the biggest aha moment for me was, like, I got to level 5 or less than 5, and I was scared to death. I go, this is never going to work. I can't do it. And then I think getting to the next lesson, then I don't know why everything just sort of gelled and I go,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And then I think I saw in one of the lessons it said just ask one of your family
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, I have one of those and I could do that. So then when I
Yeah.
got on the phone with her, then she was having issues, but it was more like a friendly, you know, I think I actually could help you. So
Yeah.
I think that was the big aha. Now it feels like I got over this huge hurdle, and now the
Yeah.
sales calls, they don't scare me as much. So
Yeah. Oh, I
yeah.
love that. Did you have any other big wins or victories that you would like to share?
Oh, my first one when I first started with you, right off the bat, because I know you asked this on other testimonials.
Yeah.
Did you have to wait to implement anything? Oh no, right off the bat. You said you could collect every AR you have, and I had that one outstanding one from a client that I was going to give up on. I don't think he's
Yeah.
ever going to pay me. And then you
Hmm.
said how to do it. And I said, well, what have I got to lose? And then in 3 days, I got the money. And
Yeah.
I was shocked and so happy. It was almost worth signing up for the course just for that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And so,
that
how do you feel now, Patrice, versus where you did just a couple months ago? Like, share with us how you feel now versus how you felt before. Because I think another firm owner watching this who's really serious about taking their firm to that next level, and like you said, they're done being stuck where they're at, they might need to hear this. So, what would you share with someone who might be really serious about taking the next step in their firm and getting unstuck and sharing about how you feel now versus where you were before?
I feel a lot more confident in
Mm-hmm.
all areas, kind of like you have, it feels like there's nothing that anybody can throw at me that I haven't trained for either in the lessons or just because you sort of covered everything that was going to happen. And I do have to say that your inspiration, like in charging more prices, I think that's across the board. I think every business owner that I've talked to that's kind of in trouble, that
Yeah.
they have a really hard time raising their prices. And my client that I'm helping, because of my work with you, he started raising his prices. He said I gave him the confidence, and just like you
Oh,
gave me the
nice.
confidence.
Yeah,
So it spreads, it's
it
like,
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could raise your worth more. Come on.
Yeah,
Do
I
it.
love it. Well, thank you so much, Patrice, for sharing everything and just putting in the work and trusting us and, taking that leap to enroll with us. Is there anything else that you would love to share with another firm owner that might be watching this, or maybe even pretending if you were watching this a couple months ago that you wish you would have heard in a video, but maybe I didn't ask you that you feel compelled to share before we wrap up?
I think the one thing I saw in one of your other testimonials was that you didn't have to be an accountant to take this. You could be a bookkeeper. You could
Yeah,
be someone who didn't have clients yet as a
yeah,
CFO advisor, because you talk
yeah,
about that.
yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, thank God, because I thought, oh, I got to have a degree. I got to have, several initials after my name, CA or CPA, EA, all
No.
this. And you don't. You can just start on this, and even if I can't imagine nobody would go anywhere with it, but what you come out with on the other end is just. I mean, I talk with my husband, and he says, "I think this is the best investment you've ever made." And I said, "I agree." So there
Oh,
you go.
that's
I think it's huge.
oh, I'm so happy your husband even noticed.
Oh, I know. I talked to him about what we're going through, and I go, and then we get to do this and this. He goes, "Wow, I think that's the best investment you've ever made." So,
Oh,
yeah.
well, thank you so much, Patrice, for sharing that. And I'm so happy your husband saw the changes and everything that you've done, and you've made such strides. And I'm just so proud of you. So thank you so much for sharing. And yes, as long as you own an accounting, bookkeeping, CFO firm, tax firm, you can do this course. You don't have to have a degree if you've been like you, right, Patrice? Like you've been a bookkeeper for years, like you have the knowledge. You just might not have the masters and the EA or the CPA, which is not a requirement. You have a bookkeeping business. And, be it if you're like brand new with your CFO clients, this is the foundation to give you the confidence to actually close and enroll those clients. Because without it, you'd just be stuck, right?
I mean, just spinning my wheels.
Yeah,
Same old.
spinning your wheels. Yeah. So I'm glad you're off and now you're in your F1 sports car, zooming through everything, and we're not spinning our wheels anymore. And I'm just so proud of you. So thank you for sharing so much.
Sure. Thank you.